keep track. Okay, got it. So it's because I like us to know. Some of you don't teach history and you think history is useless. That's how I used to think. But you know that history is not useless. It tells a lot. And if you're going to be a good teacher, you begin from life, from yourself. There was a teacher who was teaching about Stone Age, teaching about people who lived in caves and lived in huts. And I said, after the class, I said, how do you think the students took your class? Did they like it at all? In fact, they did not like the class at all. And I said, I told this teacher, you did not make it interesting. Because Stone Age, what for? But if you went to through Stone Age, people then lived in huts, people were gatherers, they became hunters, they became sedentary. So you ask a child from where he comes from. Then now you have a home, you have a father. Now your father has a father. That's your grandfather. Your grandfather had a father, so that the child can see that he is what he is in the present, but there is a lot of the past that determined his presence. And you can see that if my great grandfather lived in huts or in caves, then my great grandfather lived in huts. Then my grandfather lived in a mud house with a good roof, iron sheet roof. Then my father lived in a brick house. Then means that I must live in a house which is better than my father's house. That is development. So that the child feels that he has a responsibility to develop. So there has been a development from Stone Age to Iron Age to today, where we're going to the moon and back. So there is a responsibility for this child to see that, yes, there is a history for his or her family, but now he's there, she's there. She has a responsibility to make things better. So children will enjoy such a lesson of history because they are involved within the history. It's not something that is foreign. It is something that involves them. So history is not useless. Even if you're not a teacher of history, you're a teacher of ICT. We also learn the history of these gadgets. The first wireless call was made in 1970s from New York City to Chicago. That is history. But now almost everybody has a cell phone. But we need to know where it came from. It started in the 70s, and cell phones came to Uganda in 1993. When they had been in use 20 years earlier. So development. So history is extremely important. History enables one to learn about the past and how it has influenced the present, from where we can plan for the future. So this course shows the growth and development of formal education in Uganda without losing the indigenous education, because there was education. There is education in formal education. Formal education, you sit in the classroom like we're doing. You sit wherever, you have your computer on. That's formal education. You have a timetable, you have a course outline. But we don't have that at home. But we learn how to grow food. We learn how to milk cows. We learn how to tender crops. We learn how to do hunting. That is education. So education, that's why we said formal education. But there is indigenous education, indigenous medicine. There's a lot of education that goes on in our homes. This course does not want us to forget the indigenous education, our ancestors. So the Ugandan education system has been influenced economics, the socio-economic, political, environmental factors. Also, these factors have also influenced, they also, their influence. So education will influence your economics, and your economics will influence your education. So they influence one another. So the course looks at education as the main catalyst. So in chemistry, we use to study catalysts. So for change, for transformation, for development. But has our education achieved change? Has it achieved transformation? Has it achieved development? To look at it, at things and then debate them. So you will study factors. Some are planned, others are not planned. Factors that have influenced and shaped our education system in the country, which system is always slowly evolving. And the intention of education, what is the purpose of education? So the purpose of education is to help people live in society comfortably and usefully. That is my own definition. So what is the purpose of education for the Karamojong boys? How do they live in society comfortably and usefully? So they have to know how to look after animals. If they don't have enough, they have to know how to raid. That's the kind of education they got. The same as we study the Spartans and the Athenians, the kind of education they got. So they have to be a fighter. So they got fighting skills. So you have to be an orator, a speaker. So they got those skills. So the society also influences. We are going to see how even the missionaries tried to begin practical education and it did not work. And why? Because of social factors. So this is a very interesting course. Even if you have never studied history, but I think all of us have studied history up to O level. So that's where my history stopped, at O level. So even if you haven't done history beyond O level, you can find it interesting and enjoyable. And you're going to understand a lot more why things are the way they are. And then your responsibility will be, what can I do to make things better? Not what the government can do. You can say what the government can do if you are an inspector of schools, but now you can be a simple teacher as I am. What can I do to make things better? So there are objectives for this course. These I only picked two. I didn't want many objectives. To outline the genesis, the growth. The genesis is the beginning, the growth and development of formal education in the country. So that is objective number one. And follow these things as I write them. Objective, expected learning outcomes. This, you are going to learn this as a professional teachers. You need to know when you are preparing your classes, the class must have an objective. Why am I teaching this chapter? The chapter must have an objective and must have an expected learning outcome. So here the objectives are to clarify, analyze, assess that education with a view of improving it. That's objective number two. Then what are expected learning outcome? What is the learner expected to get out of this course? One, to know when, why, how, where formal education was introduced in the country. Many of us know. So that's why I said these things are easy. But now you are learning them at a graduate level. You're going to assess them better than when you studied history at O level or at A level, where the teacher told you all the missionaries were bogus. They came here to take our wealth. Now you're going to question that. So at graduate level, we question even our beliefs, whether they are true or not. Although we have kept these beliefs for a long time, you question the beliefs of your mother and your father.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but you're not sharing what you're talking about. You still have, for me, I only see your dashboard. dashboard, then instructor's portfolio, then the headings, but I'm not seeing what you're talking about. That's okay, that's better. Now I can see it. The second thing is on my dashboard, on the student dashboard, I don't know that you're the one who's supposed to add me in this course to access these notes, because there's nothing on the on my student dashboard. It's just course overview and that's it. There's no course outline of anything. I don't know that you're the one who's supposed to add us there.
Yeah, if I have your contacts, I can do that. But if I don't, then I can't. So we will do that later. Okay. So let's continue that. And thank you for letting me know that you were not seeing what I was sharing. So the expected outcomes are those. Number two, you are expected to be able to ask, to critique. To critique is different from criticizing. Criticizing is being negative, but to critique is look at the positive and negative. So formal education coming to Uganda, what are the benefits? But it's not only beneficial. There's also the downside of it. And at our graduate level, we need to know that. So that is to critique the kind of education that we have, whether it meets our needs. And not only our needs, because this education, we are not being educated for Uganda alone. We're not being educated for ourselves alone. We're being educated for the whole world. There are many Ugandans who are working abroad. So the education they got here is being used wherever they are. So critique. The third expected learning outcome, the student who is attentive should be able to suggest and put into practice some pragmatic. Pragmatic that means things you can really do, things that are not theoretical, things that are doable. So you can to be able to put into practice some pragmatic ways of improving the current form of education in our country, in transforming our society. So the way we teach our kids, is it in, so what kind of teachers are we? Are we giving kids things to work on? So ask the kids, there's a lot of garbage, a lot of litter, there's a lot of plastic. Find something valuable out of them. Give them a test like that. You don't need to be an agriculture teacher. You need to be, you need to be just any teacher. So that kids can think. Our education system does not teach children how to think. Children don't think. And we have a responsibility as people who have come to this course, that the kids who will be in our class will learn how to think. We don't think for them. We don't teach them what to think. We only teach them to think, how to think. Then they will think for themselves. And so let children have liberty to speak, to give their views, and control the class so that no one laughs at anyone. Let them give their views. There was this kid I usually give, the teacher said, write a story about you being a soldier and going into war. So write what you saw, what you experienced there. And so the kids wrote their papers, and this one kid just put his name on the paper and handed in. Then the teacher was grading and said, what did you do? You didn't write anything. The kid said, teacher, you said you write your experience during war. For me, immediately we started the war, I was shot and I died. So I didn't experience anything. For me, that is a child I will give 100%. And also that teaches you as a professional teacher to set valid exams. That question was not valid. That's why the different kids understood it differently. A valid question must be understood the same way. So then next time, if you are setting such a question, you can say, okay, you imagine yourself, you got into war, now write a paper, 2 pages. Now a child will not say, I will shout immediately. No, because the question demands that you write 2 pages. Then that is a valid question. So we let children learn how to think. So methodology of delivery, we use a lot of being on Moodle here so that we can debate and discuss. But the material, some summaries will be posted on Moodle, but you have to study the text. You have to read, and there are 2 main ones. If you get hold of those ones, others you can read them to understand more deeply. But these 2 are very, very, those 2, you will not have gained from this course. Assessment, you have a coursework, and then it can be in group, individual, and then a final exam, which will be done physically at your nearest campus. So a course outline, the content is here. And this is the way I do it, teaching teachers, is how you should be preparing your classes. You must have what is in the course. So these are the meaning, indigenous education, education in ancient Greeks, introduction of literary education in the country, missionaries and their control of education, schools beginning in Uganda. There's someone who said the first private school, so and so, Kasole Bwerere Edward of Mubende is the first one to begin a private school in Uganda. No way. He started his private schools in the 90s. The first private school started in 1920s. You mislead people, you say things which are wrong, and you have to know that you to people who know. So when you are speaking, make sure you are truth, because once you tell a lie, people will not we lose confidence in you. Look at our government. Now, even when the government says the ADF is planting bombs, people don't believe government because they are liars. They have always lied because they want this and this. Or they are killing people in Masagai, said they're killing people. Now they found out that it's people within that were killing people for their own benefit. So when people don't believe you, don't trust you anymore, even when you are telling the truth, they are not going to believe it as truth. So so you will see these Phillips strokes, all these commissions were there to improve education. Did they succeed? We will see whether they succeeded. There was the Education Act of 1970. So now there is a new one, Education Act of 28. So look for this Education Act 28. So you go online, these things are there. You go in the library, they are there. You have to be knowledgeable because people are going to consult you. They know you know. You must then know. So you don't need to know everything in the Education Act, but you need to know where it can be found, where to retrieve it from, and you can use it. One time I was called at a nursing school because the students had misbehaved a little bit, and I had students there, and I went there with the Constitution, with the Education Act, because the staff did not have points. The staff should never have called the parents to the school. So they just wasted our time. So I showed them how they were wasting our time using these documents. So you need to know which document is necessary, which one should I use. Now, if you have come to graduate level and you have kids in schools, you are not going to be a parent like a parent you have been. No, because now you know, you're going to know, and you're not going to accept certain things. And once the school knows that parents so and so knows, they don't play around with you, they don't play around with your child. Okay, then questions of national language, UPE. Then this last thing, university education, private and sponsorship, because you see private university education, government will sponsor the rich children, the rich kids, because those who get 20 points, most of the time are those who have gone to very expensive schools. And those who can afford it, very expensive schools, are the ones who are doing well economically. So then it is the people who are doing well economically that are sponsored on taxpayers' money. Is that fair? You can see the unfairness. Just yesterday, somebody was buying a car. The tax on a car is 30 million tax only. So that's not the amount you pay for the car, but that's tax only. I know this person cannot get his or her child in the university, I mean, on government sponsorship, although he's paying a lot of money in taxes, because he cannot afford to take these kids to where they pay 3 million a term. Then there is this one which touches all of you, the contemporary issues, Ugandan education. So the curriculum, vocationalization, scaling Uganda, emotional intelligence, AI, artificial intelligence, you can add it there. These are important things today. And also, all teachers must be degree holders. So you can imagine a kindergarten teacher. Kindergarten means a garden where children play. Kinder is children, garden. So they go and play and make themselves dirty and learn to be with other people. And now that teacher must be a graduate. Yes, in other countries, every teacher is a graduate. So, and it's important because you can remember there are teachers who are grade 2 teachers. Those are teachers after PLE, they went to a teacher training school, they trained for 2 years and they became teachers. So you can imagine a person in S2, he's a teacher, these were kids. So it's better that people are mature, that they are going to handle children. They should not be children themselves. So it's a good thing for government to propose that every teacher should be a graduate, but who pays for it? And if you pay for a degree which is 44 years, how are you going to be paid when you are a teacher? What will be the salary? So these are questions we have to pay attention to in this course. So what you need, you have it. You have to attend class regularly, and call upon any of you anytime. If there is no response, that means that person logged in and moved away. That is considered absent. And you have to participate in class so that you share your experience with the class. And that also, you gain some marks for that. So if you do your final exam and you get 56, so if you have been active in class, you will pass. You should study extensively and deeply. Study extensively. Some to this course, they don't have time to study. You have to create time. You have to run away. I was doing my studies, I could even lock myself away. Go to a place where, and when you are in class here, like it's Saturday, you are tired, you have a cup of coffee. People begin learning to use coffee. Coffee will help you have a cup of coffee, take some coffee. You can study while standing, but don't lay on your bed because you're going to doze off and sleep. And you can, as we said, you can record the classes, because I'm not going to record and post them on that will congest it too much. So you record for yourself, you record for whoever not present. All assignments shall be announced and on Moodle, because that is university requirement. So that the university coordinator also monitors me, monitors the lecturers, whether they are giving assignments. So assignment has to go through Moodle so that because everybody for them can see Moodle, everybody who is not outsiders. Outsiders cannot. So and that's about it. And then the references, you can see them. And now the most important ones. If you want to learn about Muslim education, is here. It didn't start right ocean missionary because of, again, many reasons. Some of them we'll talk about, some we will not. This a list of references. This one, Professor Seka's Development and the Challenges of Formal Education in Uganda. That is a must read. Then there's everyone should have a copy. Because if you read alone, it will teach you enough. And then there's all of these were my Professor Teberondwa, Professor Teberondwa, who thinks that were agents of colonialism. And I had a lot of debate because I did not agree with him 100%. So, and in the end, as a that he made a mistake in his book by thinking that all missionaries here to colonize, to make money, not all of them. Some of them came here to evangelize, and that was their job only. But others, they came first, and then colonizers came following them. And I also met professor of history at Nkumba University who was fundamentalist in the way she looked at history as the missionaries. They are all bad people. All Europeans are bad people. They came here not wishing us anything good. So we had long debates with this professor, and we did not agree. Okay, and and you go online. So there are lots, and you can also go online, WOM Library sources, and in the WOM Library is a Dr. Sekama's History of Education. This is there in soft. So in soft, you can download it on drive, then you can save it, and anytime you want to read, put it in your computer and study. Put it in your computer and study. That's how this making education cheaper. Otherwise, you have to buy all these books. Today, you don't have to buy all these books. If they are there in soft copy, you get them on your computer and save them. Make your computer slow down. So that's why you have to get some external, like external hard drive, external flash drive. Those will help you. Okay. So any question? So when you tomorrow you get here information here, so you click there. I don't know whether you can see it. No?
Doctor.
Yes.
This is Esther.
Esther.
Doctor, I'm in Fort Portal.
Yes.
I went to Uganda Martyrs University branch in Fort Portal, and I needed an assistance of opening for me an email, but unfortunately the ICT, they have told me that she no longer has the powers to do that. So I don't know how I can be helped.
I don't know, when we meet with the ICT next week, maybe you will raise that. You will raise that. But I would think it will be they will be the ones to call ICT at the main campus to see how you can be assisted. You don't need to travel from Fort Portal to Kampala or to Nkozi for that. No. So we also have to learn how to approach people and suggest ways. Now I'm here and no, I cannot travel there. What can we do? Can you call ICT there so that they can help me? Because when the ICT person in the Fort Portal calls the ICT person in Nkozi, it will be easier because they know one another. So learn how to approach people, so that you get what you want. Okay. So but for those who have, I'm going after this class, I'm going to look at the list of you, and then whoever has been registered will find this. I will find the name in the system, and will enroll that person into the course. And then when you go open Moodle, you go to History of Formal Education, you find the material there. Okay. All right. Any other query? Any other question? Yes or no? Okay, so as usual, the first lecture is never taught, or when it's taught, it is brief, it is short. So that is going also to happen today. The first lecture has been taught, but it has to be short, it has to be brief. So at least you know where the material is. You know what books are very, very important, and you need them. And so look for them and begin right away, because you have the course outline. So follow the course outline, and that book of Professor Sekamo, everything is there, and part of it in Professor Tivirondwa's book. So I'd like to wish you a good semester every weekend. And that's where we have the last funeral rites, that's where we have weddings. Also, I also find it difficult to attend at weekends, but I do other things earlier, and I attend this class. So I'd love to thank you, and unless anybody has the last word, let me see. Somebody should have the last word. Who would like to have the last word? Unmute yourself. Word.
I don't want to have the last word, but I want to send the course outline on the WhatsApp group or via emails, because we don't have it.
No, I don't have your email. So you will find it in Moodle. So make sure you get into Moodle. So for WhatsApp group, yeah, I will, but not today. Okay, another one who would like to have a last word. Innocent Atwire.
Yes, please. Thanks so much, Doctor. I'm so grateful, especially with your introduction about the history part of this course. And it really makes sense as you have described. Thanks greatly. I'm so indebted to that, and I have liked the course action. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you so much. And with Innocent, we'll call it a day. I would like to wish you a wonderful Sunday. And for any queries, you on that course outline, you have my number, but please don't call at weekends, because weekends during the day, also busy with other businesses. And then at 6, I come to attend to this. And when you send work, if you send it at the weekend, consider it sent on Monday. So have a wonderful night, and thank you for turning up. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Doctor. Feeling too.
Yes, this is the second class. Never says one
I request, can the host end this so that I receive my recording? Can the host end the meeting?